Hi, my name is Cheryl McLaughlin, and I am so excited to teach you how to grow peas right in the middle of the winter. So watch this little video and you're going to see some cool ideas on what you can do in your own backyard. The first thing you want to do is make sure you have some package of peas. I have some peas here, and there's all kinds of different brands, but some of the ones that I think you ought to go after is some of the snow peas or sugar snap peas. Sugar snaps are my most favorite type of pea, and the place that I will go and buy all my peas is over at IFA, Intermountain Farmers Association, over on about 21st South and just off at 900 East. Or you can order them online. You can go anywhere. Just make sure you have peas, or you can't plant peas, so you got to have that first. Now it is January 17th and we are out here, and people always ask me, how can you plant peas in the winter? Isn't it too cold? Well, if you look around today, it is 30, almost 40 degrees, and there will be plenty of days in the winter where it's going to be fairly warm, and those are the days that you want to come out. Now, when do you plant peas? I actually learned this from a great, very, very wise farmer from Holiday, who I think is deceased now, but he told me always get your peas in by President's Day. That's by around February 22nd, and that's what I've started doing during the last few years, and it has been fantastic. Now, another thing, if you look down, you will see that on these warm days the snow melts, so you'll be standing in a bunch of mud. So one of the things you're going to have when you plant peas is some good boots that you aren't afraid to get muddy, because you will be getting muddy. And I just have, you can go to DI and get any kind of boots. I have a pair of boots that I'm not afraid to get in the mud. The other thing you're going to need is some type of prop or something for the peas to climb on. Now, we think ahead, we plan this in the fall, so we put up this fence. This is our vertical garden. Our garden goes straight up, so this is what we call a vertical garden. And we put this fence and the fence post in the ground in the fall. But if you don't know about this, there's creative ways to do this. But these are a few things you'll need: is some good shoes that are your boots that aren't that you're not afraid to get muddy, and you got to have some kind of a prop, and we'll talk about that in a few minutes. Okay, a few other things that you need besides your peas, and I do plant about 1,000 feet of peas every year, so that's a lot of peas. So that's why I buy my peas in bulk, but you can buy $1 worth of peas or a lot more. So besides the peas, you want some type of a stick. You can see there's a stick right here. You could use this little stick, or I just brought an old knife out from the kitchen. You can use that, and I'll show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. And I also use latex gloves. I need something that has really, really good dexterity, but you don't really want to have your hands in the mud. And regular garden gloves, I don't think, work really well for this. And then you need a bowl, just an empty bowl, and you need a thing of water. Now, the first thing you're going to do once you have the peas is you're going to go ahead and take your peas out about 24 hours before you decide to plant. So kind of watch the weather, and you can see when it's going to be kind of nice and that you're going to go out and plant. And you have some kind of a vertical something kind of ready to go, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But I just take a bowl. In fact, actually I'm going to use this one here. So I just take this, and I have some water in here, and I'm just going to dump a bunch of the peas that I'm going to plant tomorrow, and I put that in the water and I let it soak for about 24 hours. Okay, so I have my latex gloves on. I have my peas that have been soaking for about 24 hours right before I plant them. You don't really want to let them soak for much longer than that. So I've got these on. I've got my boots on, so I'm ready to come out and play in the mud. And find a warmer day like this, it's really actually nice to get out of the house and come out and kind of play in the garden. And so the next thing you do before you just put peas in the garden anywhere, See, this is a perfect place. This is south, and this is a perfect place where these peas are going to get lots and lots of sun. So you want to find a place in your yard that is going to get lots of sun, okay? Avoid north facing, or the north side of your house where it's always shady. So once you have an area that's going to get lots of sun, then I'll show you the next step in just a second. Also, find some cardboard, something that you can get down on the ground without getting your clothes really filthy. Some kind of cardboard or styrofoam left over. So what I'm going to do is, here's my fence. And again, we'll talk about some other replacements besides fence. And then again, I had that stick. Oh, here's my stick. Or again, you can use just an old knife or whatever. And this is kind of important. So about an inch away from your vertical fencing thing, you're going to create a trough. And I could do this. The ground's kind of hard still, so I'm not going to go very deep. But you can do this with the stick. And on a warmer day, just even an inch down, this ground will soften up. So just know that, you want to go out on a warmer day. See, that's kind of, see how I have that trough? And I'm using these latex gloves so I don't have to get super cold with my hands or whatever. Once I have cleared out a trough and I have soaked my peas, I am ready to plant. Okay, one of the other great things is you don't have to have fencing. Again, like I mentioned, we do a lot of this. We know that we're going to be doing this in the spring, so we prepare in the fall and we put up this fence. If you don't have this, you can get really creative. You can use a ladder. You could use a stool. You could use a chair. You could use a lattice, kind of thing. You have to have something that the peas are going to be able to climb on. So you could put chicken wire around a ladder, an old ladder, or something, and so it doesn't even have to go into the ground. But this is a vertical garden, so those peas really do need to climb. When they're about 4 inches off the ground, they are going to start reaching their little fingers up there and trying to grab onto something. And you need to have something in place so that when they do start to do that, they can feel that and they can start to climb. I have seen peas that did not have any kind of climbing thing, and it's actually really sad. They're just kind of laying all over and they don't really produce the way they should. And it's hard to even pick peas that are just laying all over the ground and everything. So this is one thing that really, really does love to climb. Okay, now we're getting ready to plant these peas. And what I do is I just kind of drizzle a bunch of them in, and then I go back. Once I've made my trough, I go back and I put them about an inch apart. So they need to be in the ground, about a half an inch, or, at least a half an inch into the ground, or no more than an inch deep. And then you want to plant them about 1 to 2 inches. I always do mine about maybe an inch or an inch and a half apart. And we do 1,000 feet of this, so we have a lot of people in our community garden who help us do this. This is a super fun thing for kids to do. The kids have been really great at helping us do this little tedious work, and they're thrilled to get out of the house. And so however much you have room to plant, then it will look like this. And I don't cover anything up until I get a whole row planted, so it looks just like this. So once you've got all of your peas, and you can see exactly, I'll just take these out because there's some extras here. So once you've got them all in place, and again, I don't cover them until I can see that they're all in place. Then I take some really good soil and I bury them. And I just drizzle dirt over them. And again, they're not going to be more than about a half an inch to a half an inch to an inch deep. Not even, probably not, for sure not more than an inch deep. And I just barely pack this down. Not really, just barely lightly touch that. And that is all you have to do to get your peas in the ground. The snow and the rain will provide the water, and it will be really, really nice because you can just come out and they actually know when to come up from the ground. The other reason why you really do want to plant peas, besides the fact that peas are so delicious, it's one of the first things you're going to get out of the garden first thing in May. If you get them in February, you will be eating these delicious peas around the first part of May. But the other thing that I really love is this is a great soil preparation. Peas produce nitrogen, and nitrogen is needed to make your plants grow really well. So whatever comes after we have harvested all the peas, that soil is really, really rich, and that is another great reason why you should plant lots of peas, to get that nitrogen in the soil, which will really build up the soil and make all of your other vegetables grow very, very well during the rest of the summer. Hey, I am so excited to give you so many more fun tips like this. I hope you really will go out and get your pea garden going before the end of February, and watch for me in future videos because I'll share a lot of my fun gardening tips with you.